on this issue of debt. Now, it is quite a concern for a lot of African countries, but as Kenyans contend with the harsh economic times, the country's public debt remains a focal point for the country. Kenya's debt is currently standing at 7.06 trillion shillings. To help salvage the country from further sinking in debt, the man running the National Treasury, authoritative, seems to have something up his sleeve. Is this just but a temporary reprieve? Borrowing more in Kenya is becoming a concern by the day, a state that has seen the Treasury plan to legislate the debt ceiling up.
The interventions that we are going to make in supporting and sustaining our economy will be not only ordinary, but sometimes will also go beyond the ordinary measures. And that's why we are not shy from borrowing, but I have assured Kenya that we are only going to borrow concessionally, where we'll have an interest rate of 0%, we'll have an interest rate of 1%, or even 1.4%, because what choice do we have?
As of August 2020, Kenya's public debt stood at 7.06 trillion shillings. This, together with committed and disbursed debt of 1.35 trillion shillings, translate to a total public debt of 8.41 trillion shillings.
The IMF and the World Bank have stated that developing countries should not have more than 40% debt to GDP ratio. Now we are in the 60%. Now that's not very sustainable.
In pursuit of further credit facilities, Kenya has bowed to International Monetary Fund's pressure to include parastatals and county loans to the national debt, a move that went through the national debt ceiling, placing the new debt figure at 10.4 trillion shillings.
The only option we have is either raise taxes beyond normal or borrow concession to support the economy. And we've decided to have an opportunity that we borrow from the concessional window from the multilateral agencies like IMF and World Bank, and so that now we are going to deal with it at a later time.
To mitigate the debt pressure, the Debt Service Suspension Initiative has been rolled out to ease the debt burden. After surpassing the first opportunity to get relief, with Treasury terming the terms of the initiative as too restrictive, Kenya will take a relief from the Paris Club, which was due between January and July 2021, saving the country 32.9 billion shillings in its debt repayment.
So I think that pressure in those, especially in the education and the health sector, have made it very, very important for these extra funds that are coming through the debt relief to be able to be plugged in.
Treasury Cabinet Secretary Authoritative says this will give us the fiscal space to make the much-needed spending on the COVID-19 economic recovery strategy, especially in the social, health and economic sectors.
China does not extend that debt relief, and you remember there are some elements of Chinese loans that need to be paid this month. If that money is transferred towards paying Chinese debt, then it ends up really being not really entirely useful to the country.
Kenya has also applied for debt service suspension under the G20 DSSI framework for amounts estimated at 40.6 billion shillings due from 1st of January to 30th of June 2021 from non-Paris Club bilateral creditors. With next year's budget deficit being projected to hit the trillion shilling mark, with more borrowing being expected to fill the gap, the Controller of Budget has warned of an imminent debt crisis if the trend continues. Nokip Kimboi, KTN News. Well, later on we shall be having a more detailed chart on BizChat Weekly with our very own, of course, Ken Gishinga and Wahorondoho to help us put into perspective some of the top stories this week. So sit tight. Right now we take a short break. We'll return with more.